welcome to or back to the Yoga Corner. I'm Kira and today I'm going to be guiding you through day 2 of my 5 days of the Fundamentals of Yoga series. So today we're going to be focusing on the Sun Salutation series, which is a part of yoga that you will find in almost every single yoga class. Sun Salutations are one of my favourite things to do ever. I just think they are such an all-encompassing series of movements. You can really feel like you're working your body, stretching all of the parts of your body that you want to stretch and finding strength in other areas as well. And I do truly feel like they are just amazing. Whoever came up with Sun Salutations deserves a medal. And they are such a natural movement to me now that I think that I could do them literally in my sleep. But I absolutely know that if you're a little bit newer to yoga or you've never done a Sun Salutation before in your life, it might feel like a lot to focus on. But this practice will just help you to start getting familiar with your Sun Salutations, start to feel into those movements and just feel a little bit more confident in your yoga practice, knowing that whichever class you're going to be going to, you know this fundamental series of movements. I also think Sun Salutations are a great one to have in your back pocket because, like I said, they are such a great little collection of movements that you can, if you have only 10 or 15 minutes spare in the morning, do a really great yoga practice just focused on repeating these movements and still feel like you've had a great stretch and just feel ready to take on the day. So with that in mind, whether this is your millionth Sun Salutation or your first, let's get to the top of our mats and do some sun sals together and get stretchy. So like I said, we're starting at the tops of our mats today. I just want you to take a moment to look down towards the feet. We want to be standing nice and strong through the bases of the feet, about hips width distance apart. And you might like to just lift the toes away from the ground and then gently place them back down onto the mat, just really grounding. You might like to tiptoe up and then release the heels, just shift the weight around and find a really strong center on the mat. And once you've done that, we're just going to close the eyes for a moment and connect with our breath. If you're taking part in the full 5 days Fundamentals of Yoga series, you'll know that yesterday was all about the breath. And we just want to take a moment to allow that breath to settle into the body, connecting with that thing that we all do every second of every day, but just giving it that little bit more of our focus and attention. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, allowing the breath to travel through the body and energize us. And then exhaling completely and releasing it all down. With our next inhale, we'll start to include some movement. So we'll inhale to reach the fingertips up to the sky. Maybe palms touch above the head. And if you'd like to include a little back bend, you might look up to those hands and allow the chest to expand up to the ceiling. Exhale, float the fingertips down, releasing the hands to the side of the body. Inhale, we'll take that again, releasing through the fingers, reaching up to the sky, nice and tall, back bend if it feels comfortable to you. Exhale, release it all down, fingertips float to the side of the body. We've got one more time. Inhaling to reach through those hands, find length through the body as you lift nice and tall. And exhale, we float those hands down to the ground. Really nice. With our next inhale, the hands reach up to the sky again, but we're only staying there for a moment, and straight away as we reach the top of that breath, we hinge from the hips and we're finding our very first forward fold. So think about bending from the hips, not reaching forwards. Just allow those hips to release down. Hands can float down to the mat, and we do not need to worry about straight legs here. What we're really thinking about is allowing the chest to come towards the legs. So if you need to bend your knees to get there, then do that. Take that movement, make this Sun Salutation work for you. Allow the head to be heavy. You might like to shake out the neck left and right, releasing any tension. And then options to keep the fingertips on the ground for a little bit of stability, or if you'd like to find a bit more release through the backs of those legs, those hamstrings, you might like to take your ragdoll position. So you'll take hold of opposite elbows and just gently sway from side to side, feeling that release through the backs of the legs as you move from left to right. Really nice. Take one more breath there. Allow yourself to enjoy some movement. And then we'll release the fingertips back down to the ground. Take one more big deep breath in our first forward fold of the practice. Remembering we can use our exhale to release a little further, softening deeper into this fold. And with our next inhale, we're finding our halfway lift. Hands come onto the shins. We've got a nice flat back here. Chest comes forward. Exhale, we fold it back down, and this time we're going to plant the hands on the ground. We're finding our first plank pose here, so we want to step both feet back behind us. In our plank pose, we want to make sure that we've got a nice long line through the body. Shoulders are on top of the wrists and heels are reaching backwards. If this feels like too much of a challenge and you feel like you can't hold this position, bring the knees down to the ground. This is not about holding a position that doesn't feel good for your body. It's about finding what works for you. So wherever you are, you want to push through the palms, lift through the shoulders, nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, we'll all lower the knees down to the ground. Release the toes, and then we're gently going to lower the chest and chin down to the ground, bending through the elbows as we lower with control. Allowing everything to melt down to the ground, we push through the palms, and we're going to roll the shoulders back, lifting the chest away from the ground and finding our cobra pose. We're opening through the chest here, keeping the elbows tucked in, using the strength of our back to lift up. Exhale, soften that chest back down to the ground. And we're going to tuck the toes, pushing through the palms and bending the knees. We're going to peel the hips up to the sky, finding our very first downward dog. We might want to take a little pedal of the legs in this first downward dog, allowing yourself to release through the backs of those legs. Find some space into the hamstrings. Really nice. Once you feel like you've taken enough movement, you can find some stillness. We're thinking about pushing the chest back towards the legs here, and just like in forward fold, we do not need to worry about straight legs. In fact, that might be a little bit of a detriment to us if we're thinking about straight legs, because we can very easily end up with a downward dog that looks like this, which isn't doing anything for us. Instead, we want to bend through the knees, think about pushing the heels back towards the ground, but don't worry if they touch the ground, that is not what we're about here. And then once the heels are pushing back, we can look between those legs and guide the chest back to the thighs. Thinking about creating a nice long spine. Really good. Take a full deep breath in. And a full exhale. With our next inhale, we look towards those hands. We can either take a little tiptoe up towards the hands or take 2 big steps, but the feet are going to meet the hands however you want to get there in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Take a nice big deep breath in and release with an exhale. Inhale, lift the hands to the shins. We find our halfway lift. Nice flat back here. Exhale, soften into a fold, and with an inhale, we reach the fingertips to the sky, lifting nice and tall. Exhale, hands soften down towards the heart space, pausing at the top of our mat. That is our first sun salutation of the practice. I hope you're feeling nice and stretchy, nice and warm. We'll take one more deep breath of stillness here. And with our next inhale, fingertips reach up to the sky, taking that nice deep breath in. Exhale, we fold it down, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, lifts us halfway, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, soften the chest, plant the hands on the mat, we step the feet back, finding your plank pose. Remember, that can be knees up or knees down. Take a big deep breath in here. Exhale, we lower the knees to the ground, release those toes. Elbows stay tucked nice and tight in towards the body as we bend and lower the chest with control all the way down to the ground. Inhale, we roll the shoulders back, lifting the chest, finding our cobra. Perhaps this time you can squeeze the glutes and lift that chest a little bit higher, creating space through the front of the body. Exhale, we lower that chest back down. Tuck the toes. We're going to peel the hips to the sky, finding our downward dog. Remember, we're thinking about lengthening the spine. Knees can be bent. We're pushing the heels back, but it does not matter if they touch the mat. We just want to have that nice long line all the way from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Think about with every inhale, you can allow those hips to reach to the sky, and with every exhale, you can sink the chest a little bit closer towards those legs. Really nice. Take a big deep breath in. And a full exhale. Really nice. One more big deep breath in. And full exhale. Inhale, we look towards those hands. We're going to step the feet up, finding our forward fold at the front of the mat. Releasing the head down, nice and soft. Inhale, we lift the chest up, finding a nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold, finding that release. Inhale, we reach the fingertips up to the sky, lifting nice and tall. And exhale, hands soften down to the heart space. Pausing there after your second sun salutation. Allow the chest to be nice and broad. Allow the breath to expand through the front of the body. We'll take one more deep breath before our final sun salutation. Nice deep breath in. Full exhale out. Inhale, we sweep the hands to the sky, lifting tall. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold the body down, find that release. Inhale, lifts you halfway, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We plant the hands on the ground, stepping back, finding your plank pose. Your version, find what works best for you. Take a big deep breath in. Now this time you've got the option to either lower down, releasing the knees and bending through the elbows just as we found our cobra, or if you'd like to take the next step and you feel strong in your plank pose, you can allow the toes to shift forwards and then you bend through the elbows, thinking about lowering yourself in one long line. This is your chaturanga. As you reach the ground, you would release the toes and this time push the chest all the way up, lifting the thighs away from the ground and straightening the arms, finding your upward dog. Whether you've got your cobra or your upward dog, we're going to gently tuck the toes and lift the hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. This is our last downward facing dog, so enjoy it. Find a version of this posture that feels good for your body. That could be straight legs, it could be bent legs, that could be a nice long spine guiding back, or maybe you're taking it slightly easier, thinking about allowing yourself to create space and strength as you push through the fingers and push through the toes, allowing your body to be strong and stable here. We'll take a nice full deep breath in together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale takes us to forward, looking at the front of the mat, and we gently take a step up. Feet meet the hands, forward fold at the front of the mat, nice. Inhale lifts us halfway, hands to shins. Nice flat back, really allow the chest to expand here. Exhale, forward fold. It's the last one of the practice, so enjoy it. Really allow the upper body to be heavy and soft as you relax the chest towards the thighs. And inhale, we bend through the knees and sweep the hands all the way up to the sky, reaching as tall as we can, finding some space. And exhale, hands come down to the heart space. We find a pause at the top of our mat. You might like to close the eyes here. Just allow yourself to take a nice big deep breath in, finding that energy through the breath. And exhale to soften, allowing the body to settle towards stillness. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed moving your body and getting interested in some sun salutations. Hope you enjoy them as much as I did, and I hope to see you again in another practice soon. Namaste.